So talking to Toon Critic today, I was bemoaning how I didn't have 64 people for a super tournament. To which he said, "Whoa dude, you should totally do it anyways with only 16. I mean, like, it wouldn't be so strenuous, man." I do a really crappy Toon Critic. But part of the surprise of this tournament was it was supposed to be oversized channels. All the big people to face off against one another. No one omitted provided that they were all active. And I could still do that, but here's the rub. Half the tournament will be big names, and that's going to be this week. Next week will be 8 people that are from sub 5,000 channels. If you don't like it, go yell at Toon Critic, it's his idea. On the other hand, something is after all better than nothing. If you see people who otherwise weren't supposed to be here, maybe from before, I guess I'm being a bit of a snot. So let's be honest, we all want to see who you guys think are the best. You got 1 week to vote from the release of this video. For example, in the first match, it's Silver Quill versus KP. Write down one or the other. You will have to do this 4 times of those 4 matches, 1 each, or your vote will not count. See you down below.
Well, a trope is more a twist one can put on an archetype. On its own, it can seem very shallow or one note. I think this was one of the biggest criticisms against Fluttershy early on.
That pony's afraid of her own shadow.
Fluttershy was the cowardly lion, a being possessing tremendous power but is not aware of it due to their own self-doubt. That's a force working against Fluttershy as she moves towards a solution. This was her main theme for at least several seasons, and I understand why fans would express frustration. It made sense to me, as social anxiety isn't cured with just one bold act, but a repeated effort can seem less entertaining.
It does have some funny character reactions and many new animals to add to canon. The giraffe still doesn't talk, by the way. It presents a whole new range of problems that come out of left field and distract from the episode. For instance, where did all these animals come from? Why is the overcrowding of the animals an issue 7 seasons in? Why not just send the animals back where they came from? Fluttershy wants to build an animal sanctuary. When was that a thing? Like, ever? And most importantly, like, what does Fluttershy do? It's implied in the past she does something to make money and have an income, I guess, but she just seems to take care of animals. Like, I don't get it.
Entire lives have trouble lifting giant rocks roughly the same size. In Over a Barrel, we see that 4 Earth ponies about the size of Big Macintosh are pulling a steam locomotive. Likely because it was broken down, because we clearly see functioning steam trains later. Anyways, 4 Earth ponies are pulling a giant steam locomotive. It has about 6 cars, including the car at the end carrying Bloomberg. The average weight of a standard steam locomotive coach is about 61.14 tons. We saw at least 1 sleeping car in there, so that's 82.45 tons. And a non-passenger baggage car carrying Bloomberg is about 53 tons. The weight of the locomotive itself is unknown, but even the smallest locomotive can weigh 20 tons. If we do the math, that makes at minimum 461.15 tons that they were pulling. Even if we divide them up amongst the ponies pulling the train, that's still about 115 tons per pony. That's
of things. Now, the word means a creature who is a hybrid of a dragon and of equine origin, except there's one problem with that, isn't there?
I'll say, now that I think about it, Discord's head looks nothing like a pony, or at least it's a stretch. His only obvious pony-like feature is his blue Pegasus wing. As for the dragon part, the only bit of dragon influence I see is his tail, his other wing, and maybe his right foot. That still doesn't account for the deer, the lion, or anything else that makes up Discord. I would have called him a type of chimera, if anything.
So now, please, let me blow your mind. Why is it that he's called a Draconicus in the first place? He's supposed to be half dragon, half horse, Dracon, equine, but yet he looks like that jumble of thing.
Ooh, goodness. How long have we all been waiting to see a Celestia-centered episode in this series? How long have we waited to see the princesses developing their bond as sisters? And who would have thought that it would be Starlight Glimmer of all ponies to make this story happen?
And who would have thought that we could both be in the same place right when there's an episode that focuses on the royal sisters? Quite the coincidence that I'd be out visiting you during a story that addresses sibling bonds.
Yeah, I swear we did not plan it this way, folks. Just kind of happened that way. But at any rate, this is a story that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. Ever since the synopsis came out several weeks back. I was thoroughly surprised to hear that Starlight would be the one handling this conflict, but looking back now, the writers knew exactly what they were doing.
The map was right to send her. The only other two ponies who could have possibly pulled that off and be sent by the map would be Twilight and maybe Rarity.
Will blow up in your face. And it can apply to a number of different emotions, whether it be anger, sadness, jealousy, or any feeling really. Hell, the feeling of being alone and in the darkness is something that you shouldn't bottle up and... People didn't come here for your own issues. They came for the ponies, laddie. Oh, and the Griffin Master Race. What?
A group of griffins set the record for the fastest escape. It only took them an hour.
Griffin Master Race for life! But of course, with the brains of a bird and the reflexes of a cat, puzzles are nothing to us Griffins.
Amongst my peers, I am one of those who's relatively neutral on the subject and still had reasons for enjoying Newbie Dash, though there were other flaws that did ruffle my feathers a bit. Was it an episode I had hoped for when Rainbow Dash finally was accepted to be an official Wonderbolt? Well, no, but I wasn't really sure how it was going to go down anyway. To be honest, I'm still confused on who or what the Wonderbolts are supposed to be. Some say they are like the military Air Force. Others say they are more like the Blue Angels. You know, the flying entertainers that did Daredevil performances. The show isn't too exact in their description. However, in episode testing 123, it stated facts of the Wonderbolt history after the incident with Nightmare Moon that the ponies of Equestria who supported Princess Celestia felt the need that royalty needed extra protection. Thus, the Earth, Unicorn, and Pegasus ponies formed a special force to help protect Camelot and eventually Equestria. And of that formation of protection emerged the Wonderbolts.
However, they tend to get a fair bit of negative criticism sent their way. So why is it that when someone makes an Alicorn OC, they get criticized for it, and even discouraged from it? Well, there are many reasons as to why, and everyone will come to their own conclusion, but one of the main reasons is one that I might have just given away. You see, Alicorns in the show are rare. As I said, there are only 5 that we know about, and for a while in the show, we only had 2. One of the most common complaints I've heard regarding Alicorn OCs is that because Alicorns are supposed to be rare,